speakers from the Michigan delegation. For the other I reserve the right to yield my time to the delegate from Louisiana.
So reserved. Will the author yield to a series of questions?
Yes. Okay. Would this be increasing online schooling while dropping the number of actual physical public schools?
No. What this proposal is intending is to allow students to take specific online courses, hence in my opening statements, combine similar academics, electives, and courses that will be desired.
Okay. It states that a physical class would be offered if there was enough interest. So does that mean that that would be the only time a physical class would be offered?
Physical courses as in conjunction with a specific major in mind. The 4 core subjects still have their physical classes. Hope you understand what I'm asking.
Okay. So while the 4 core subjects still have their physical courses, I believe that we also need to have physical courses such as arts and music. I don't believe that we only need to have a classroom for simply math, science, things like that. I think that we need to be well-rounded students, and I give the remainder of my time to the delegate.
The delegate is yielded 11 seconds.
Thank you, Mark Brown, Louisiana. While I commend the office for his efforts, I do not think he's hitting the root cause. While those systems in Europe do use these things, they also have different requirements for teachers. They have high respect.
Thank you, delegate. At this time, the floor is open for a final pro speaker. Chair recognizes Delegate Hanzak.
Michigan delegation, I reserve the right to speak in the limit of my time.
To which delegate? So,
yeah. Okay, so honestly, I think this proposal is a great idea. Personally, I took an online class this year for geometry because my school didn't offer it during the time I needed because I did go to a vocational class. I specialized in graphic arts, which is actually the career I wanted to go in. So this can be very beneficial. Also, my friend is in cosmetology, and by the end of her senior year, she will be able to go into a salon, apply for a job, and be able to get it because she has that experience. They also do this with building trades, small engines, and things like this, so I believe this is a great proposal. I yield the remainder of my time.
delegate is yielded 40 seconds.
There's been some concern, Ben Tucker from Colorado. There have been some concerns as to the efficacy of distance learning. I want to make it very clear. I went, for the entire last week, I went to EdMedia, which is a global conference on the integration of technology into education. I spoke with the industry leaders and scholars on the effectiveness of using online education in conjunction with brick-and-mortar high school education. The reason why it's growing so fast is because it is as effective, if not more effective, than traditional education. Because of that alone, we must pass this proposal because it does exactly what the future of education yearns for. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, delegate. The chair would now like to recognize the final con speaker. Chair recognizes Amanda Black. So reserved.
I appreciate the presence of trade schools in areas of the United States plus affluent school districts. However, to improve educational standards, we need not limit the core education students receive in a typical high school. I understand the importance of reputation, how important reputation is to the United States, but we need not focus on the statistic, we must focus on the education of our students. We must prepare them for a world combined with math, science, English, and history because it is essential to creating a well-rounded, educated students. I yield my time to delegate.
Delegates yielded 55 seconds.
Thank you, Sir Chair. Michael Lee, delegation from Tennessee. I have several problems with this proposal, mainly because there are holes that are not addressed in the education system. First of all, this is like a nationalization of education, and education is supposed to be a state-sized issue. But one of the other problems is it doesn't fully address the problems in the current system, and I do believe that this makes it less efficient than the current system itself. So the idea of pooling all these online courses, well, we have a lot of logistics questions like who would organize this, how would it be done, what is the cost of such things that aren't addressed in the system. Would it be applicable by the Department of Education? What are the issues that would result from that? Also, when we give students so much choice, sometimes students are not necessarily exposed to every single major or career path that they could possibly be exposed to. So the idea of a college or a traditional classroom would be that they are exposed to all these ideas.
Thank you, Delegate. At this time, it is in order for the author's closing summation. Author, you are recognized for 2 minutes of closing statements.
Thank you, Chair, for Cartner North Carolina. I would just like to firmly state a few things that some of you are missing within the proposal. First of all, this does not rid us of typical classroom settings for typical schools. What this does is it combines standard academics, electives, and courses that they do a desired major in college. So let's say I'm a typical high school student that wishes to go into cardiothoracic surgery. I would take my 4 core subjects and whatever in a typical classroom and whatever electives I wish to take within a typical classroom, and then on another day I would go into an online classroom and take courses that would lead me to a desired major within cardiothoracic surgery or medical field in general. So your typical classrooms are left completely intact. A second thing that came up was the logistics of combining the online schools, and I would like to remind the delegates that this is merely a proposal. The logistics would be hammered out in this particular sense later on in the bill-making process. We are not creating cyber schools. Furthermore, we are opening up individual classes and course sets to students within a typical education system. In regards to the states' rights issue, the national government has many times implemented education systems for the good of the country, such as Head Start, Common Core, Race to the Top, and many, many other educational systems just in the last 10 years. This does not force a student into specialization, but merely allows them to explore a particular career path. If they decide they don't like the career path that they were going into that they would have originally chosen, they can leave the program and go back into standard academics or switch programs. And it certainly doesn't require them to go into a specific course in college. Colleges, by the way, are another thing that logistically I didn't touch, but I'm hoping that they would be receptive and at least allow a trial period.
Thank you, author. At this time, we'll move into the ranking of proposal number 3.